Texas voters make major changes at the state capitol. Several incumbents are out, clearing the path for the governor's school choice plan.
Parents are sending a clear message. The status quo is not good enough any longer.
Opponents now trying to rally support after losing several allies.
This is an existential threat to the project of public education.
We look at what's ahead in the battle over education savings accounts. The state releases new educational materials to improve learning for students.
We are seeing double-digit gains in the percentage of students who are proficient in reading or mathematics.
The promise and the skepticism surrounding the new material for Texas schools.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. There were no statewide races in Tuesday's primary runoff election, but voters in several parts of the state made decisions that will have an impact across Texas. The race that got the most attention involved Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan. He held off a strong challenge from David Covey in District 21. That's in southeast Texas near the Louisiana state line. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but Governor Abbott was arguably the biggest winner of the night. He wasn't on the ballot, but he campaigned heavily against 4 members of his own party over their opposition to his plan for education savings accounts. 3 of them lost. On election night, the governor posted a statement on his personal X account saying, quote, "The Texas legislature now has enough votes to pass school choice." The governor's ESA program would allow parents to use state money to help pay for private schools. While he's declaring victory, Ryan Chandler reports the long political fight is not over yet.
If they make it the hard way, we're happy to take the hard way also. Either way, I'm in this to win this.
That was Governor Abbott on a call with supporters back in September. After a long fight against fellow Republicans, the House likely has the votes to pass Abbott's plan for education savings accounts, allowing families to use state money for private school.
School choice for you, your families, and for all Texans across our state.
Abbott overcame a blockade of 21 Republicans, endorsing their pro-voucher challengers.
Steve Allison is the second most liberal Republican in the Texas House.
Of the 15 challengers he backed, 11 won, an election season that knocked off a record number of sitting lawmakers.
Parents are sending a clear message. The status quo is not good enough any longer, and you have to support our kids' education.
No vouchers, no deal.
Democrats have long been adamant they will not compromise on any version of the plan, worried it will harm public school budgets. Do you see any room for negotiations here?
I don't. This is an existential threat to the project of public education. It's an existential threat to our neighborhood schools, to our teachers, and to our students.
State Representative James Tallarico is hopeful that some gains in November may stall Abbott's bill the next time it hits the floor.
Just like we had the votes last year, even after Greg Abbott said he was on the 1-yard line and was on the verge of passing his voucher scam, I think we will have the votes in 2025.
Ryan joins us now. The governor says he has the votes to pass education savings accounts. Is this a done deal? What comes next?
Well, it's never a done deal until it's on his desk, but the governor objectively has accomplished a remarkable political feat in just about the last year and a half. He went from being 21 votes down, 21 Republican votes, to now claiming that he has a majority in the House to pass this priority that he has tried so hard for so long to pass. We'll see what happens when the bill hits the floor in 2025, but if you look at the numbers, they are favorable for the governor. Out of the 21 Republicans who opposed his plan for education savings accounts, only 7 of them are returning. Some of them are retired, but most of them the governor challenged by endorsing their opponents, in many cases funding their races. And out of the 15 challengers that he endorsed, 11 of them won. So he's done a lot of work to tilt the scales in his favor in a relatively short amount of time.
All right, well, I want to turn to another high-stakes runoff. House Speaker Dade Phelan held off challenger David Covey in his Southeast Texas district. What has been the reaction to that result?
Well, all eyes were on Southeast Texas. This was the main card on Tuesday night. And it was truly historic because if you're the Speaker of the Texas House, you're not used to facing a challenge like this. $12 million, I believe, the Phelan camp spent, and they won by 366 votes. It was razor thin. So it was a victory in the sense that Phelan will return to his seat, but the general narrative is it's not quite the victory that they were hoping for, and it proves the saliency of the wing of the party that is aligned with former President Trump or Attorney General Paxton that is trying to push a more conservative new brand of conservatism. And that is an ideology and a wing of the party that Phelan does not identify with. They've been trying to push him out. Phelan is projecting confidence that he'll be able to hold on to not only his seat, but his speakership. But that is going to be a long fight in the months ahead until January.
Yeah, as you just mentioned, even though Phelan held onto his seat, that doesn't mean that he will still be the speaker next session. What do we know about people who are already challenging him?
So the first one to jump into the race a number of months ago now was Cyprus Republican Tom Oliverson. He was a former Phelan ally. Phelan appointed him to chair a committee, and he is joining that branch of the party now that says that Phelan should not appoint Democratic chairs. He expressed a lot of criticism about some of the conservative priorities that did not pass last session. Oliverson has established his conservative credentials, namely leading the charge to ban gender transitioning for minors. So his race is ongoing, but just late this week, another conservative, Shelby Slauson, jumped into the race. So there's now 3 people. Slauson is a relatively new member. This will be her 3rd term, but she kind of endeared herself to the conservative wing by becoming kind of the female face in the House for the abortion ban. So this is going to be a very interesting race between the new Republicans who want to ban Democratic chairs and expedite conservative priorities, and the more traditional kind of Republican like Phelan, who values bipartisanship and takes a more establishment traditional strategy to legislating.
Well, it's a exciting time, I know, but we've still got like 7 months left before January happens. So
we don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Anything can happen, right?
Exactly. We'll be following it.
Ryan Chandler, thank you very much. In another race we've been tracking, a Houston Democrat lost her bid to keep her House seat. 4-term incumbent Sean Thierry lost her runoff against union organizer Lauren Simmons. Last session, Thierry was one of only 4 Democrats who supported Senate Bill 14, which limits healthcare options for transgender minors. Simmons said that vote was a factor in her decision to challenge Thierry. A Republican congressman who backed gun safety legislation after the Uvalde school shooting won a tightly contested runoff against a gun rights activist. Tony Gonzalez faced YouTube personality Brandon Herrera in the District 23 runoff. Gonzalez won by just over 400 votes. District 23 stretches from San Antonio to the outskirts of El Paso. It covers a large portion of the border with Mexico, and it also includes Uvalde. The Texas Republican Party censured Gonzalez last year for supporting the bipartisan gun law that passed after the shooting at Robb Elementary. After Tuesday's runoff win, Gonzalez defended his work in Congress.
I have a very conservative voting record, and I will continue to have a very conservative voting record, but I want to solve problems. I'm pragmatic in how I deliver things. I will sit down with anyone. I don't care where they fall on the political spectrum. I want to have debates. I want to have discussions. I want to have people that will influence me, and I want to influence them. I mean, that's part, to me, what being a legislator is.
Gonzalez advances to the November general election now. He'll face Democrat Santos Limon. 20 Texas women challenged the state's abortion ban, saying it stopped them from getting medical care for pregnancy complications. The Texas Supreme Court ruled against them. We look closer at the impact of the decision. The state's education commissioner touts promising results for new learning material created for Texas students. So why are some educators skeptical about the plan?